Assalamu alaikum dear friends. In this video I am going to talk about the microscopic anatomy of the heart. So keep watching the video up to the end so that you can get the information what actually these cardiac cells are, how they are different from the skeletal and smooth muscles. So let us start. These muscles are short, they are striated, that means they have striations in the form of light and dark bands alternatively, and they are interconnected with each other, and they have branches as well. Like this is the heart, and this contains the myocardium, which actually consists of muscles which are responsible to contract during the emptying of the heart. And this is the portion of the heart muscle, bundle of muscles which are elaborated here. There are these muscles are attached with each other, and they have branched structures as well. Then there is a single muscle fiber which is elaborated here in this diagram. Firstly, I will discuss these points which I have mentioned on the board. Let us talk about this. The cardiac muscles are short, they are striated, having striations, and that's light band and dark band, and they are interconnected with each other, and they have branched structures as well, and they show sliding filament mechanism of contraction. That means during the contraction of the muscles, all the muscles have this similar kind of the what is called the mechanism of contraction. That means they slide one over the other with the help of actin and myosin filament, this actin and myosin filaments. Then another point, they have one or at most two nuclei which are parallel in nature and centrally located. These red dots represent the nuclei of the cells, and the intercellular space is filled with loose connective tissue. That's we can call the intercellular space as well as the matrix loose connective tissue called the endomysium with numerous blood capillaries. And we say that the matrix is connected to the fiber skeleton of the heart. The matrix of the cardiac cells is connected to this fiber skeleton of the heart. So the matrix acts as both as tendon, what I mentioned on the board, TENDO and tendon, and an insertion. And another very important point that is not found in the skeletal cells, or we can say the skeletal muscles, that's called their plasma membrane, means their sarcolemma of adjacent two cardiac cells. What they have, they interlock. The sarcolemma of the two adjacent cardiac cells are interlocked with each other like ribs of two corrugated cardboards. We can see the like ribs of two sheets of the corrugated cardboards, a dark staining region, that's called the intercalated disc. This is called the intercalated disc, which I have elaborated, and this is the intercalated disc here. The intercalated disc contains desmosomes and gap junctions. Desmosomes are the structures which held two cardiac cells with each other during the contraction, and they have another structure called the gap junctions. Gap junctions are responsible to flow the ions during the depolarization wave from one cardiac cell into the another cardiac cell. Because of the presence of gap junctions, the cardiac cells in the this heart behaves as a single coordinated unit, that's called the functional syncytium. This is the functional syncytium that is not found in case of skeletal muscles. Therefore, there is another point that is called the this about the mitochondria. There is abundance of mitochondria. Around 25% of the mitochondria is found in the cardiac cells. That means they are responsible to form the more and more ATPs, which are responsible to what is called as a quick functions in case of heart. That means the heart muscles doesn't get fatigued at all. And on the other hand, the skeletal muscles have only 2% of the mitochondria. The remaining volume of the cardiac cell is occupied by the myofibrils. They are composed of sarcolemma. Sarcolemma are actually the contractile unit. Consists of I bands, A bands, and Z discs that reflects the arrangement of thick myosin and thin actin filaments, which actually shows sliding filament mechanism of contraction. Then calcium delivering system. Calcium actually is responsible for the contraction of the muscles. Calcium delivering system is not this, we can say, poorly elaborated, or we can say the less elaborate. The cardiac cells have fewer and wider T tubules. T tubules are the transverse tubules, which are actually the invaginations of the sarcolemma. There is one T tubule per sarcomere in cardiac cell at the region of Z disc, while as there are presence of 2 T tubules per sarcomere in skeletal cells at the AI junction, that means isotropic and anisotropic junction. And one more point, that's about the Sarcoplasmic reticulum, that is simpler in nature and that is without terminal cisternae. This is the structure which I have mentioned here. This region is the AI band, this isotropic band. This is the A band and isotropic region, or we can say the anisotropic band. In between them there is a Z disc. And here this is the desmosome which held the two cardiac cells with each other, and there is a gap junctions which are also found between the two adjacent cells, which are responsible to flow the ions from one cell into the another cell. That is the property of what the cardiac cell, and that constitutes the functional syncytium, that means the flow of ions from one cell into the another cell. So the cardiac cells in the heart, this functions as a unit, or we can say they behaves as a coordinated unit. That's called the functional syncytium. Once again I'll review this. This is the myocardium. Here in the myocardium there are cardiac cells. These cardiac cells have sarcolemma. This have a nucleus, centrally located nucleus, and ICDs are here. These are the dark staining regions called the intercalated discs, and one among them I have elaborated here. There are more mitochondria. They are responsible to form the ATPs, which generates energy. This energy is utilized by the cardiac cells in pumping action of the heart. That means the heart pumps out the blood from the heart. That means the cardiac cells work tirelessly and shows rhythmicity throughout life, as well as they are unfatigued cells. It is because of the presence of gap junctions, and there are what it called as the sarcoplasmic reticulum. That is a simple type, and it is without terminal cisternae. I hope that you got the right information so far as the microscopic anatomy of the cardiac cells are concerned, and I hope that you will enjoy this video, and please subscribe the channel and share it or these videos with your friends, so that they can also get information regarding the microscopic anatomy of the cardiac cells. It is all about in today's lecture. Allah Hafiz.